Hello, bonjour, Alberta. Did you know that at least 238,000 people speak français in Alberta? And those numbers just keep on growing? Oui, oui, c'est vrai, it's true. And thanks to Shaw TV Community Access Programming, we get to reach out to everyone to let you know all about special people, places, events, and activities happening right here in this great province, in both English and en français. That's right, mes amis. We begin the first part of our program in English, and then we repeat it en français. So stay with us. Restez à l'écoute.
Welcome et bienvenue to Hello Bonjour Alberta. I'm Marc Lalonde. Joining us today, we have Inouk Touzin, Artistic Director with Théâtre. Welcome, Inouk.
Thank you.
And Aurélien Jondeau, who is an actor and also a member of the Board of Directors of the Society.
Good evening.
Welcome. Let's start with you, Inouk. Let's get a bit of your background.
Sure.
But just 2 minutes. I know you've done a lot of stuff.
Okay. Well, I'll cut about half of the story and say I'm an actor, director, playwright, and administrator. I'm one of the founding members of Théâtre. We're a co-op, French language theater co-op based out of Calgary. And I've been doing my work for the last 15 years across the country in Ontario and Saskatchewan and Alberta. And I'm originally from Ontario. I'm a Franco-Ontarian. And I moved to Calgary in 2008, and I've been here for French theater since then.
What convinced you to move to Calgary? Why?
Well, there was a project waiting for me. I was asked to come in and revitalize French language theater in Calgary, which had kind of gone through a little bit of a crisis period, and so I just decided, all right, let's go for it. Let's give this a try. It's a major city. There's a lot of francophones here, and there's no professional theater in town in French yet. So I just jumped on the opportunity as a young director to leave my mark and find a market that I could really develop and build up.
That's quite a list of roles that you play there. What's your background to be able to do all that stuff?
I have a bachelor's degree in theater, in drama, from the University of Ottawa, which I finished in the year 2000, and then a lot of practical experience working with different theater companies, touring plays, doing independent projects, getting funding. Théâtre is the second company I incorporate, and right now, while I'm continuing actually my education to continue doing artistic research and development as a director with the graduate program at University of Calgary, I'm doing my MFA directing right now. I just started actually.
I hear that's hard to get into.
Yeah, it's they accept 2 students per year. My fellow graduate student is from Malaysia, so it's kind of an international potential for meeting people and getting connections, and hopefully I'll get to continue exploring my artistic, in French we say démarche artistique, my artistic process, I suppose, and continue to learn how to share my love for theater with others.
So you're one of those people who's really living their dream, aren't you?
I am, and I'm one of the few artists who's earning a living from his art in Canada. So I'm on the lucky side of the artistic people here.
Fantastic. Let's switch to you, Aurélien. Where are you from, and what brings you here?
So I'm from a very tiny village in Provence.
In France?
In France, exactly. I have grown over there. I've studied over there as well. I've traveled the world for about 8 years before coming to Calgary and landing here about 4 years ago. A couple of friends of mine had, shared with me the great potential and a great living, lifestyle that we have here in Calgary. And so I settled down 4 years ago here. And I started a company 3 years ago as well. So I'm an entrepreneur, and it's going really well, really happy.
What does your company do?
The company offers services, web design services and training on Apple technology.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're also involved in theater.
Indeed.
Yeah, is this something you've always wanted to do? Did you do some of it in France?
I always wanted to. I haven't had the opportunity, owing to Inouk. We met a few years ago, and we kind of like passed each other many times in different Francophone events, and yeah, we should talk to each other, we should. And then, you know, there's a right timing for everything. Then we ended up meeting and had the opportunity to work with Inouk. Really, really happy and proud to have done that. And yeah, was part of that last year's play. Chapeau de paille d'Italie.
That was a community play, wasn't it?
Yes,
Yes.
indeed. Yeah.
So how do you classify that, Inouk? Is that kind of semi-professional, or is that an amateur production at that point?
It's an amateur production because we don't pay our actors. Right. Luckily for us, we've had absolutely amazing casts for the past 3 years, and last year was a particularly fun show to get involved with. I think we had a sold-out evening for the very first time on our Friday night, and the audience response was really positive, and I think that's partly due to Aurélien and the rest of the cast. We really had a great team. It was 17 people on stage, so it was a really big production. It's pretty much unheard of to produce a professional play of that scale, because it's so many people and so many schedules. So it's pretty much in the amateur world that it's possible to really enjoy the gems that we have from the 19th century.
I'd like to come back to that a little bit later, but I understand you have a production that is yes. very timely here.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell me about it.
This is the opportunity for people to come and see a French play that is delicious. It's called bouffe. I'm saying it's delicious.
Yeah.
Bouffe is a French word for food, French slang, and it's a show that is based on clown work and bouffon work, which is like buffoonery.
So it's a play on words. It's both of them, bouffon.
Exactly. So there's a lot of jokes. It's very physical humor. 2 artists from Acadia developed the play. One is called Marc-André Charon, and the other is Mathieu Chouinard. And so Mathieu is very tall, and Marc-André is very short. And so they really play on that. And they're both cooks, and we're in their kitchen, and they're preparing food for us. And it's for Halloween, so it's October 31st, November 1st at 8 p.m. and then on Sunday, November 2nd at 3 p.m. at the Engineered Air Theatre. So I'm super excited because we're presenting the play in a new space for us. So we're coming right downtown and bringing the theatre to the people, and we hope the people will bring themselves to the theatre. And
this will be very physical, so if you don't necessarily understand French all that well,
exactly.
It's not going to matter.
This is a great show to see if you don't speak French, but you're curious, or you speak a little bit, or you think you've forgotten it and you're about to rediscover that you haven't in actuality. So a lot of interaction with the audience and gags, a lot of movement. They move a lot, and then there's beautiful stories and tender moments and scary moments. It's Basile and Mortadelle are the 2 characters, and they're cooks who learned their trade on the big ocean line boats with their father, who was cook. And they learned their craft this way, and they're searching for the perfect ingredient for the apple pie that their father made.
Where can we find out more information? Is there something?
You can go to our website, www.theatreepic.ca. You can buy tickets in advance if you've got a PayPal account. You can also go to La Cité des Rocheuses, who is our presenting partner. So we're both presenting this play together. On their website, you can buy tickets as well. And also at the door, just come to the Engineered Air. It's in the Epcor Center. It's in the southeast corner of the building. Come Friday night at 8, and you'll see a fantastic show.
I'll bring my 80-year-old mother. It's not too scary, is it?
No, okay. I don't think she'll. If there's anything, she'll probably have a laughing fit. So, but we have medical staff on hand. I'm just kidding.
No, I don't think it's that critical.
Great.
Okay, so what other things do you have lined up for the current season, I guess, which goes from summer to summer, doesn't it?
Well, one of the things Aurélien actually started doing with us is improv, and that's something we do every month. Every last Wednesday of the month, we have improv at Café Koi.
How does that work?
It's absolutely fascinating in a way that it really pushes you to dig into into what you have inside, any creativity, anything, any emotions you really want to share with the public. And we regularly have other members as well of the Francophonie joining us. It's pretty intense. Obviously, it's on the spot.
As a performer, you're on the spot. But as an audience member, it's not that intense. You can come and just watch.
Could be. It could be.
And it's funny,
very good way.
guess.
In a very good way.
It's usually quite funny, and it's flexible. So if people want to come and give it a try, then that's totally possible.
Absolutely.
That's actually how Aurélien started. He just came one time and he was watching and he said, "Could I try it?" And then I said, "Sure, come on up," and off we went.
So you just show up. And when is this again?
The next one is Wednesday, the 29th of October, 8 p.m., Café Coy. We go on for about 2 hours, have a beer, meet some French people, or have a juice if you don't drink beer. And we have a good time. Usually 2-3 people, sometimes 4 that come and play. Sometimes we've been up to 8 or 10. And then it's a nice, intimate space, so don't feel like you have to bring your whole family, but you're welcome to as well.
That brings to mind another thought. You, Inouk, have done something to do with Rouleauville and the Historical Society in the last little while.
That's right. Last summer we hired our first summer student and we did historical tours of Rouleauville. The Mission District of Calgary is the historic French Quarter. And so it goes back to the late 1880s, and actually even before that in the 1870s was a fellow called Father Doucet, who came to Calgary and got there just before the RCMP set up the fort at Fort Calgary. And he gave up that spot to Fort Calgary, and they helped him to move to the Mission District, and that bloomed into a small francophone village called Rouleauville, and it got annexed to Calgary in the early 1900s. But there was a whole slew of francophones, including 2 brothers who are a judge and a doctor, so the
Rouleau brothers.
The Rouleau brothers,
Okay,
and so the village was named after them. So we were kind of going through the historical part, seeing some buildings that were built.
So it's a walking tour.
It's a walking tour, about an hour long.
All kinds of shady stories and
That's right. We tell the stories of naughty boys escaping from the nuns to go fishing on sunny afternoons and
all of that stuff. Well, that's something certainly to look forward to.
Yes, in the next few
perhaps
years.
in the next few years that'll be repeated.
Exactly. We'll be. We want to come back to it. This year was kind of a test, and we really liked what we saw. Next summer we'll be taking a break, but then we'll be coming back with it. So it'll be a regular tourism.
Keep an eye on the Théâtre website.
Yes.
Okay.
And
great.
it's something we can do for schools. So as a kind of on demand for a year-end project or a visit. It's always great to find out more about our local history. And so if schools are interested, they can contact us through our website.
Any other productions planned for the next few months?
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for asking. This year we're doing an Acadian year. So we have Bouffe, which is a show from Théâtre Populaire d'Acadie, Oups Théâtre, and Théâtre Satellite. And so that's an Acadian show. And then we'll be producing a community play, so an amateur play in the springtime, which is called Evangeline Deus, and Guy Robin from the old Société Théâtre de Calgary from before Théâtre Epic is going to be directing the show, and Aurélien is in that one again.
You're in that one too.
So
yes.
he's wheedled his way into 2 back-to-back community plays. Tell us a little bit about that.
About the play.
Or your character.
And the character. I just started to discover him. We're just starting.
I think we're going to have to kind of leave that because unfortunately, I mean, this is great fun, but we are running out of time
Sounds
here.
good.
Well, it's a great play. It's dramatic but funny as well, and there are older people in the play meeting with younger people. It's an intergenerational piece.
Any idea where it'll be held?
I'm not sure yet, actually.
Okay, so that's still to be determined. And when about?
It'll be end of February.
End of February.
Yes.
Okay, so good. Not too far into the distance.
No, and keep your eyes on our website to get the details.
Okay. Well, thanks, gentlemen. Stay with us. On continue en français.